Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, look at that. It's Frank. Frank, what's cooking? Good looking. Welcome. Thank you for being present today. This is episode 67 of The Nooner. I am your host, David Bradley. We got the funk down going on. If you're new to The Nooner, here's what's happening on The Nooner. Every weekday, Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock noon, I'm coming in, I'm dropping a Noontime Nugget about either sales, business, or life. And today we're going to be talking about hunger. How hungry are you? Good to see you, Frank. Thank you for being here. Who else has just joined us today? A couple shout outs here. Mike Davenport's here. Mike, you got it. Man, that profile pic is a trip, brother. Thanks for being here. I know Mike's hungry, Frank's hungry, so this will be good. Hey, and if you need to catch up on rebroadcasts of The Nooner, if you miss one, we're doing them over on YouTube. You go to youtube.com/Cardone Solutions. There's a playlist over there called The Nooner. So let's get into this thing today, shall we? Let me introduce myself to you again. So my name is David Bradley. Three things about me that should be of interest to you. Number one, I'm a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone. I've been working for Grant since March of 2011. We're going to be hitting 5 years. Ooh, Michael Cirillo showed up. Man, we are in the presence of some kick-ass peeps today. Man, Mike Davenport, Mike Cirillo, Frank Lopez is here. This is awesome. So thank you guys for being here. Sales and marketing manager, Grant Cardone, 5 years in March. What we do, we work with individuals and companies alike to increase production, usually to the tune of 15 to 30%, simply by helping them find and then handle missed opportunities. So if that's you, if you're catching this on YouTube later, you're tuning into the stream right now, and you're hungry for more, you know there's more out there, we can help. You can reach out to me at 310-777-0352. You can call my office direct, 310-777-0352. Grant's technology took me from barely surviving in sales to thriving in it. So for me, I consider it an honor and a privilege to share this wealth of knowledge with other people. So if I can help, let me know. A couple other things about me. Thank you for the restreams, everybody. A couple other things about me. I'm the author of a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. Smoked cigarettes for about 15 years. Could not quit. Tried on multiple occasions to quit, but I found a way to stop. There is a difference. It's not semantics, and I wrote a book about it. It's called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. You can get more on that at stopdon'tquit.com. As we approach the holiday season, the New Year's resolutions are starting to pop up. This might be a good time. You may have a friend or a family member or yourself, you're thinking about it, and even if you got a habit that you need to break, might be a good time to start looking at that. So third thing on me, I'm also the founder of a hashtag called Rich Man's Gym. This is a book in progress as well. This is about home-based strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. For me, I don't exercise just to look good naked. There's a whole synergistic thing between strength of mind, strength of spirit. I can use my body and push it to a limit that helps me connect better to a higher power. And that's what Rich Man's Gym is all about. And I don't believe you need to go to a cookie-cutter gym like a Bally's or something to get in the best shape of your life. You can do that from home. You can do that at the park. This morning, before I started my day, I went down to the beach over here. There's a nice flight of stairs that zigzags. Set my timer for 20 minutes. I run down the stairs. I run back up. When I hit the top, I bang out 20 push-ups, and I do that till the alarm goes off. 20 minutes. Okay? That's like a God Stairmaster. I don't call it a poor man's gym. There's nothing poor about it. When you're down at the beach, you're the wealthiest man alive. So that's Rich Man's Gym. So hunger. Who's hungry? Okay. The Nooner, the purpose of this is to literally come in here every single weekday and drop a Noontime Nuggets, noon for me, about either sales or business or life. I want to give you guys a piece of motivation to take with you into the rest of your day. This is not something, I do this for you, obviously, and the people that are tuning in, but I also do this for me, right? I figure, midday is when things start slowing down. You got to do something to kick in the afterburners, right? So I've changed the format up of the Nooner a little bit. On Mondays, I'm actually going to review the strategy of the week that Grant writes. Usually goes out on Thursday or Friday. I'm going to review it. So if you miss it or you want to hash it out, you can meet me here every Monday. On Tuesdays, though, we're going to be talking about a different trait of a great salesperson, which is what we're going to be doing. Wednesday is going to be a midweek motivation where I'm going to grab one of Grant's books. I'm going to flip through it, and I'm going to pull a quote that gets my attention, and we'll talk about that. Thursdays, though, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to look at the news. I'm going to look at hashtags. I'm going to look at what's trending, what's popular right now, and see if I can relate it back to something relevant to real life and what we do here. And so that we're not using, so that the news is not using us, that we're using it. Yesterday on the Nooner, I talked a lot about that. And, in Grant's strategy last week, he says, maybe, some of these cable news networks, CNN, Fox, maybe they're actually helping the terrorists more than they are hurting it. Awareness is good, don't get me wrong, but man, there is such a thing as overkill, right? Even in our world. Okay, not everything you want to 10x, right? So, and then on Fridays, open season for me, I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want. Okay, so that's our new format for the Nooner. Let's talk about hunger. What is it? How hungry are you? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is being hungry arrogant? Or should you just take what you get? Right? A lot of us are taught that, right? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Things like that. A lot of us were taught to just accept what is there, not want more, right? Even, what's the musical? Oliver, right? Please, sir, I want some more. And then that guy's like, more! Kid gets thrown out of an orphanage for asking for more porridge. It's ridiculous. So are we conditioned to not want more, to not be hungry for more? But how many people in this country go hungry every single day? Not just literally, but physically. Or not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally. Are we just, what are we leaving on the table, right? So one of Grant's strategies or traits of a great salesperson is great salespeople stay hungry, act hungry, and they tell people that they're hungry. And I think this is one of the great things, or things that separates average from extraordinary, So what do you hunger for? I want comments on this. Like, what are some things that you hunger for that that get your juices flowing, that you ever think about, and it's more than just that girl in high school or in college or your wife or somebody that you love, but that moment when you think about something and it gets you so jacked up that you literally feel like your heart is about to pop out of your chest, like it's about to lift, like you get lighter. Just talking about it like this, it happens. It's like a right? When you think about stuff like that. So what do you hunger for? That to me is what hunger is, So, but let's look it up. Hunger, Hunger, definition. Okay, so the obvious definition is a feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by a lack of food, coupled with the desire to eat. Okay, but if you look at the verb, that's the noun of hunger. But if you look at the verb, now verb is action, it's doing something, right? If you look at the verb, it says have a strong desire or craving for. Okay, a strong desire or craving for. So that's the question. What do you have a strong desire or craving for? Give me a comment on that. And why would you stay hungry? And if you take a look at a guy like Grant, he's got all the food he needs. You know what I'm saying? He's fine. If Grant wants to pull shop and disappear, he literally could. He wouldn't be hurting if he just stopped producing. Okay, but why does he continue to produce? Why does he continue to push? Why is he still studying and learning and trying to grow? Why is he hungry for more? Okay, so the first thing is, if you stop talking about your hunger, I'm hungry. Okay. I've wanted, where I live right now, I've been pushing for this literally for most of my life, if not all of it, and pushing hard for probably about 7 or 8 years. I accomplished it 2 years ago. But I'm not done, okay? I'm close, but I'm not done. There's more to this that I want. Let's do a quick shout out here Lydia Vanderbank, thank you for being here. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. Welcome to the Nooner. We're talking about hungry. What are you hungry for? And this isn't just about food. What do you hunger for? Not telling people that you're hungry takes the fight out of you. Now, the first thing you think about this for a second, because we are conditioned to stay humble, to be quiet about stuff like that, to not want more, because that's greedy. It's a bad thing. But what I go right back to, and I think about this, is Marianne Williamson, right? I don't want to screw up her quote. Playing small does not serve the world. That's her quote. Okay, so think about that when you think about hungry and not being willing to tell people that you're hungry and that you want more. Okay, your playing small does not serve the world. Frank says, I tell everyone how hungry I am to help them. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the key things in our company. We're like, I'm in a hurry to help people. Guys like, man, you call too much. You push too hard. Sir, I'm in a hurry to help your people. Please don't confuse my conviction with stalking or whatever you want to call it, right? I'm in a hurry to help your people, okay? So it's not an act of arrogance. It's actually an act of humility. Because what we do in our company and what I do, I mean, I consider myself I'm in the help business, right? We're in the people business. I'm in the help business. There's nothing arrogant about wanting to serve and help as many people as possible. Especially when you know you got the right solution. Okay? So, when you think about other successful people that make a difference for the better, that have an impact on other people's lives in a positive way, they're all hungry for more. They all want to do better. So we got Grant. Grant's a fantastic example of somebody who is hungry for more. Bill showed up. Good to see you, Bill. Thanks for being here. Who else can you think of currently that is hungry for more, but has already reached a high level of success? I can think of a few. Let me get some comments from you guys, though. I think Kobe Bryant is a fantastic example of that. If you read about him in Tim Grover's book, Relentless, he talks a lot about Kobe's desire and hunger for success. Thank you for the like and the restream, Bill. But who else can you think of who's hungry? So Kobe's a great example. I think Grant, obviously. But some people that you may not think of that we tend to overlook. I think if you follow Derek Jeter Frank says, yeah, man, Jeter was very, very hungry. I think he still is. It'll be interesting to see what he does now in retirement. Don't you think? Because that hunger, when you've got that kind of an inner drive, that doesn't go away. Right? Laura, who can you think of? Popularity people that are very, very famous that are incredibly hungry. So we talked about Kobe, we talked about Grant, obviously. Some people that you don't really think of. Donald Trump, there you go, Bill. Hitting the nail right on the head there. Donald Trump is hungry. That guy does not need to work. But that dude's on a mission. Agree with him or not, he is hungry. And he is hungry to have an impact on this country. Regardless of where you sit on that, you got to admire what this guy's doing. Right? He's following a lot of our strategies to a T. Okay? So Donald Trump, great example of somebody who's hungry, who doesn't need to be. Okay? The Rock. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He got so far in wrestling, he could have just thrown it in right there. Never work another day in his life again. But now he's doing movies, he's a producer, he's got motivation stuff going on now. He's literally trying to help other people. He created a level of success for himself, and now what does he want to do? He wants to give it back to other people. Bob Duggan, yeah, amen to that. Thank you, Bill. Fantastic example. Okay, another guy, Robert Downey Jr. Somebody you don't really think of, but here's a guy who's hungry. Okay, Tony Robbins, yeah, Tony Robbins will always be hungry. That Tony Robbins is a phenomenal human being. But what about Robert Downey Jr., right? What about that guy? He's a nut. I love that dude. I look up to him. I think he's fantastic. He has gone through so much, and he has been around and through the ringer. He's come out on the other side, and if you look at some of the stuff he does for charity, man, he's a giver. He's a complete giver, and I hope someday to meet him. I'd love to hang out with that guy. But yeah, good dude, right? I mean, what is he? He gives back. And he's hungry to help. And he's hungry to create. He's a musician. He's a great actor. Mark Cuban? Yeah. Mark Cuban's hungry? Yeah. These are all classic examples of somebody who, people that are hungry to give. They're hungry for more. They're proud of what they do, but they are not satisfied. Now, what does this mean? If you're not moving forward, where are you going? Backwards. There is nothing good about a flat line. Nobody wants a stock chart to look like a flat line. If it's going up or down, if you know what you're doing, you can make money. If it's a straight line, nothing's happening. If your EKG is a flat line, that's a bad thing. Okay, so hunger is important. Jerry Jones, fantastic example. So look, here's what Grant says. He says, the greats stay hungry no matter how many victories they have behind them or how good they are. They know there is always room for more and room to grow. And this really ties us in with taking a look at what your reality is in your life, where your potential is, and there's always a gap. Even for guys like Grant and for Tony Robbins and for Kobe Bryant and Robert Downey Jr. and The Rock and Donald Trump, there's still a gap between what is real for you and where your true potential lies. Hardly anybody on this planet has hit their true potential. And usually when they do, they get elevated to some status. Jesus, the Buddha, Krishna. So unless you're there, you haven't hit your true potential yet. You got to be hungry for more. Okay? So I want to do a exercise with you. I want to relay this back to your business, okay? When have you not been hungry for more? What has happened? And not just in business, though. Think about this in terms of life, okay? If you come back and you say to yourself, I did all right. I don't need to make any more calls today. Instead of, let me just see if I can get one more. What happens? If a client thinks you're not hungry anymore, you're out of the game. How does that relate in personal life? Who's the one that got away? You know her name. You know his name. You know who it is. Did they know how hungry you were for them? Think about that. Take 110% full responsibility for that. What about your current relationship? Are you hungry? Are you hungry for them? Right? Again, this is the Nooner. We're talking sales, business, and life. Okay, and that may be a hard thing to take a look at. Right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down a couple of your goals. You don't have to do this now. You can do this afterwards. Okay? But I want you to do this exercise before the day is up. Okay? Write down 3 of your goals. Since it's the Nooner, write down a sales goal, write down a business goal, and write down a life goal. Write 3 of them down, and then I want you to 10x it. Okay? So like if you're like, hey, I want to live in $1 million home, it's now a $10 million home. Okay, I want you to 10x the goal. then spend 20 or 30 minutes really coming up with a logical, realistic plan to create the 10x goal. Okay? How are you going to do that? Now, what's most important about this exercise is once you've done it, I want you to go tell 5 people. I can be one of them, which means you can tweet it out to me at davidrbradley.com. Or not .com, sorry, what am I talking about? At davidrbradley is my Twitter handle. Tweet me your 10x goals. I can be one of your 5. But I want you to tell 5 people about what they are. Because unless you put that out there, it doesn't count. Make sense? It's not real, right? In this physical culture circle that I'm in, when somebody hits a PR, the joke or the deal is, if it's not on video, it didn't happen. Okay, so you got to put it out there. You got to put it not just out in the universe, not that law of attraction stuff. You literally need to physically put it out there. So that's what I'm saying. Tell 5 people what these new goals are. Okay, because that is you exercising your hunger. Okay, if you're not sharing with people that you're hungry, if you're not telling it, then you're minimizing it, right? Remember, we go back to that Marianne Williamson quote. Playing small does not serve the world. You playing small does not serve the world. Okay? So what can you do today to make a difference for the better, to manifest the glory of God that is within you? That's part of that quote, okay? Be hungry. Okay? I know I am. And if you're challenged with thinking big, right? So we talked about thinking big. You got to 10x your goals now. This book will help. Obviously, most of you, I know Frank's read it, Bill's read it. Laura, have you read the 10X Rule yet? If you haven't, grab a copy of it. Big sale over in the Cardone store for Black Friday. Okay. So, hey, that was episode 67 of the Nooner. What'd you guys hear today that you liked? Somebody just popped in here, so let me do a quick shout out. Marisa DeRose, thank you for being here. Reruns of the Nooner are up on youtube.com/Cardone Solutions. There's a playlist there called the Nooner. That way you can get caught up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Frank said do it on audio MP3. Heck yeah. 10X Rule on audio is fantastic because you got Grant literally reading it to you. Put that in the car. It's like you got GC riding shotgun with you. All right, so thank you guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to crack open a Cardone book live, and I'm going to pull a motivational nugget out of that thing, and then we'll hash it out. All right? Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been episode 67 of the Nooner. Stay hungry all day. Use me as one of your 5 people today. Tweet me your goals, your 10X goals, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here, you guys.